Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ravneet. Today I am updating you on my Tan That palette. So in this project I am trying to finish up an entire palette. I already had a lot of progress when I started off with this project. But before we get started with the update, if you are new, please consider subscribing to my channel because I make a lot of panning videos. Now let's take a look where my palette was last update. And I had quite a few goals. So the first goal I had was to clear the bottom portion of the shade called Loaded. It is the first shade from the left side. And the next goal I had was to clear the corner of the shade called Belgian. It is the shade that I use in my eyebrows. So I wanted to clear the bottom right corner of that shade. And my overall goal for this palette was to use each shade at least 5 times. Well, before I show you the palette and how it's looking like today, if I was able to achieve all of my goals or not, I just want to say that I'm still wearing a sweater. I mean, you can obviously see it, but it's June. And it's just so crazy because the weather is like it's 16 degrees Celsius out there and I'm so cold. Like I'm that person who's always cold. It's like really ridiculous for me that I'm wearing sweater in June. But moving on with the update, this is how my palette is looking like today. I was able to achieve all of my goals, and as you can see, I have the whole bottom portion cleared out, and I used it 5 times in total to do that. It's just because I put it on all over my lid and I really packed it on whenever I used it. And the next eyeshadow we have is this shade called Belgian. This is what I use in my eyebrows, and I was able to clear out that bottom corner on this shade as well. There we go. This shade was finished previously and I was able to finish this shade off in this project. This shade was also finished in this project, and this shade, it sits somewhere else. It's called Liquid. I mean, I like to call it Liquid because calling it Licked, it's just doesn't sound good for me. Good to me. This one is called Chocolate Shade, and I was able to use it the total of 9 times. And I was able to hit the side pan. There we go. There is a little side pan showing up there. I'm going to repress it after this update because it's so hard for me to get the product from the edges. And this shade is called Cocoa, and my goal for this was to use it 5 times at least, and I was able to use it 14 times in total. There might be a slight expansion in the pan, but I am mostly focusing on the bottom and this upper portion on this eyeshadow. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I used Belgian for a total of 25 times. So just to recap, I used Loaded 5 times in total last month, and I used Belgian 25 times last month, and Liquid that I'm about to show you, I used it 19 times, and Chocolate Shake I used it 9 times, and Cocoa I used it 14 times in total last month. This is where the Liquid shade is residing, so I have frankened it with another shade from Morphe to make it work for me as a bronzer, and I was able to make so much progress on this one. I'm covering this part because I have a blush in here, and that is in my Frankly My Dear pan project pan, so I just don't want to give spoiler. But yeah, I've been making a lot of progress on this Franken bronzer, and I think I will be able to get it done in 1.5 months, I think. Yeah, I think that's doable, but let's say I will be able to finish it in 2 months. So let's talk about goals. Let's start with the Liquid shade first. I don't want to set any goal because this is like the primary bronzer that I use whenever I wear my makeup. At least I use it most of the times because now I have another bronzer in my Labor of Love It project pan. But yeah, this is like my primary bronzer and I'm like hyper focused on this one. For this palette, I think my overall goal would be to use each shade at least 5 times. I think that's been working out really good for me because even if I'm not focusing on a shade, it still shows a lot of progress, let's say after 4 or 5 months, because I would have still used each shade 5 times, and that adds up so that I'm not starting from the scratch whenever I am going to focus on any of these shades in future. Because right now I don't put goals on all of these, like hitting side pan and stuff like that. So let's see what we want to do this month with this palette. I want to use half of what's left in this shade called Loaded. At least I just want to use the bottom half of this so that it goes here. That's really specific. For my eyebrow shade, I'm using it every day, but I'll try my best to get this corner done. It's a stretch because this shade is really pigmented and really hardly pressed. It's moving very slow, but yeah, I'll try my best to get it all cleared out. Let's see if we are able to do that, because looking at it, it seems like it's gonna take quite some time to get it done, at least get the bottom portion cleared out. And for chocolate shake, I just want to repress it and just want to use it like 5 times at least, but I'll probably end up using more. And then for cocoa, what I want to do is I want to flat out this dip so that it's not a prominent dip. I just want to wear the product off from the sides of this dip, because I don't want a narrow pan just going from here to here. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Let's see if I will be able to do that, because it seems like it's gonna take some time to just, like, you know, flatten off this dip, because that means that I'll have to use this product evenly, which always takes more uses than just, like, let's say creating a dip or hitting a pan. Maybe hitting pan is going too far, but yeah, it's always hard to flatten out a dip than creating a dip. So that is it for this update. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching my video. I'll see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.